Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get started today, pardon me. Before we get started today, so I explain something. We're in a low power mode here today. It is in the mid 90s. Let me just do a Google search real quick. It is 34, 35 degrees Celsius or 94 degrees outside right now. The air conditioner is having a little bit of trouble keeping up. Due to my use of the computer, I've turned the AC, the thermostat down a degree or two, but it's not going to help much. So I have some of the lights turned off, and I have a fan going to keep me cool here. So I do apologize for the fan noise and the uneven lighting. But let's get started. Grab some links here. Post them. I'm going to post them via my phone, and then I'm going to post them in the SMPs on Empire Minecraft. Because I've actually forgot to do that yesterday. Let's see, do a share, copy link. We're going to do Facebook first because I can type a little bit more easily on there. Jeez. My girlfriend's boss has been out sick recently. A little stuffy. Sinus stuff. My girlfriend's boss has been out sick recently, so she's been really busy. So when I have to go this evening, in about an hour, 2 hours, something like that, it's because I have to get a few things done before she gets home. So she's relaxed and so on and so forth. So I would like to do another big, huge, fat live stream, which actually got blocked on YouTube from a copyright thing. They heard music that they thought was playing, and I actually cannot remove the audio from the live stream, so I can't even use it. I mean, I can view it, but you guys won't be able to, unfortunately. What happened was they heard a snippet of a song, but they didn't ID it to a specific actual track, which normally they just monetize it and put it like an ad on there for people who view the video. But this time there isn't that option. It's just audio, whatever, recording. And there's no way to edit it out, which is kind of ridiculous, I think. And we all know that YouTube's copyright system is completely broken. So I'll have to be more careful about that in the future. I think the music volume was not high enough for them to discern which track it was, but they heard tones and sections of it that were similar to something that was already copyrighted. So there's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. I'm going to keep poking away at it and see if I can make it public without the audio, because it does have some interesting content. Oops. Whoa, nope. Right, so I'm just gonna pop that all in there. Copy, post. Okay. So I'm gonna get rid of Facebook there. I'm gonna put it in Twitter last. Guys, hit me up on Twitter @transitbiker. Please do. Direct message me. You can make a post and tag me in it, whatever you want to do. But that is actually my primary social media platform. Facebook is for my own personal, like, circle of friends and family and stuff to poke in. But Twitter is my, like, sort of external social media for people that just are around the world and so on and so forth. So, yeah. Anyway. Let's just post this real quick. This is a part 2 from yesterday. It's a continuation. It's a continuation from yesterday because I kind of got cut off yesterday, unfortunately. And there's a possibility that the power could go out today just because of everyone's running their air conditioner. It's very hot. Anyway. So I'm on Discord as well. So if you're on the Empire Minecraft Discord or just in Discord in general, you can message me. I'm going to leave that open, and then we're going to hop over to Twitter. Right, and then I'm gonna hop on here on Facebook and grab that link and post it in the actual SMP servers online on Minecraft. Girlfriend's account like that. This is just FYI. This is my girlfriend's computer. My computer can only run 1.11 because I can't figure out the step-by-step. I cannot find a step-by-step set of directions to install System Java 8 or newer. So the tricky part about Facebook is I have to go into the Edit Post button and grab the text and stuff like that from there. Yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna copy that. We'll just close Facebook. Okay. I'm gonna turn the chat on, but I'm not gonna be checking it, so. Oops. There we go. All right, so I'm going to enable the chat, but keep in mind that I'm not going to be looking at it too often, just because I can't. And thanks to Yellow Brick Cinema for supplying the music today. They have live music for sleeping, meditation, relaxation, studying, all that kind of stuff. Not promotional, just saying they're pretty cool. I'm subscribed to them. So if you like that kind of like streaming music experience, check out my subscriptions. You don't have to subscribe to me, but check out my subscriptions. You might find a channel that's interesting, so on and so forth. But yeah, just chill and let's get started here. Okay. Hey, what happened? Oh, fine. Anyway, let's just gotta put in the link so people can watch if they want. Hey, it's colored. So there's 9 SOPs and Utopia. Utopia is a supporter only. It is a supporter only section of Empire Minecraft where you can fly, like flying is enabled, and the plots are a lot bigger. It's like a town section. Empire Minecraft has 3 sections. There's the wasteland, which is for resource gathering. There's the wilderness or frontier, which is used for building and stuff like that. Then there's the town section, which is sort of like a little downtown or like a city type area with a grid plan of streets and stuff. And It's pretty neat. There's fire tick is disabled in town, and a few other things are enabled and disabled. You can always, if you want to check out Empire Minecraft, you can always ask in the forums. They have forums. They have a Discord channel. As you can see, I'm typing in SMP87654332. And each one has its own flavor. Every SMP on Empire Minecraft, every all of its servers have a different flavor, and that's what. And the other thing about the Empire Minecraft is a really strong community. There's a really strong sense of community. That's what drew me here in the first place. People are generally nice. All right. All right, so I need to go east of here, so we can go from this wonderful pixel art map thing over to where I need to go. I have an excess of food, but I did that intentionally, because I'm going to use this up fairly quickly. Oh, don't forget to check out the live map. It has not been updated in a while. The live map algorithm is like the blocks that you place. It's still, I think, set to 1.11 blocks. Whoa, look how high these guys are. That's crazy. So block textures might not update. Like, it might still show like regular terracotta versus the glazed terracotta or whatever. Because 1.12 is the world of color updater or something like that. But yeah, it does have a very useful, handy live map. It has the nether, it has the overworld, and it has like a three-dimensional, like sort of three-quarter view of the overworld, which I find very, very useful and handy. Have I gone too far here? Let's land. See, now I can find myself. When you find yourself. Let's find myself on the map. Links to the server and the Discord are on my. Yes, I went past it. I thought I did. That's what I thought. I need to find north, west. So we're going to go this way. I was too far south, so I went right past it. Yeah, I recognize this river area here. So should be right over here. Oh, yes, there we are. There we are. There we are. So you guys may have seen me working on this section. We're bringing this down to water level, just so we can build an additional harbor area. I stopped here just because I'm not sure what they want to do with this section, because this is like I'll call it kind of a wall, a naturally occurring like wall made out of a hillside, and then they kind of built it up on the top there. So what I'm thinking I'll do is, once I get this part flattened, I'll kind of terraform this and kind of carve it back to a slope, and then the slope will be down to the harbor on this side and down to the sort of ocean on that side, and the slope will end kind of like right here, and it'll go up. And yeah, it'll be an interesting project. But today we're not having anything to do with that. Today we're only working on the nether road. So we have to get to the nether road. So we have another area cleared up here. It's taken a while because it's a large chunk of stone. But it actually used to be. What the hell happened there? It actually used to be higher than this. So our way back is over that way. Ow. Electric did not activate there. I actually built this stairway. Very proud of it. So here's a one nether portal, but I finally filled in this part here, which I think looks a lot nicer. I'm gonna have to go through. Eventually, all of this is going to be stone brick. So this is I think it's called a compound staircase, where it goes from 1 to 2 to 1 to 2. A lot of office buildings use this type of layout because it can connect the two side stairs can connect the two sides of the building if there's like a partition wall. Okay, we have anything in here that's useful? Not really. Okay. We're going to pop that in there. Oh no, we're going to keep that. And then, yeah, I forget what we were going to do with the cobblestone. But last time we grabbed a whole bunch of resources from the outpost. And I kind of talked a little bit about my plans for the tunnel. How I'm going to raise the ceiling like it is down below. And you'll see that in a sec. But we're not going to... We're not going... That's one of my neighbors there, actually. We're not going to... this is going to be a solid block pattern. It's not going to be checkered and offset and harlequin looking from like the other one. It's not going to look like some sort of quilt work. It's going to look like... instead of a spiral candy cane, it's going to be like a candy cane with just sections. It's sort of like the stairs. I can show you the stairs in a sec. There we go. Whoa. See what I mean? How this side is on the bottom. So we're going to take actually all of this down. So that's part one of this is going to be to remove all of this. All of it, like literally all of it, because yeah, this part can't stay, the lower part, because we're not doing this type of pattern down here anymore. And I'm just going to go through and just... It's going to take a while, but yeah, just go through and just grab all these. Because basically, instead of it being a checker pattern, as you can see here, it's going to be just bunched together. So there's going to be... I don't want any netherrack, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't want any netherrack, definitely. Very tedious process. But it's worth it because I'm going to need these slabs further down, like down the tunnel here. I'd much rather finish the east-west part of the tunnel first and then try to get started on this part of the tunnel, because this part of the tunnel is a separate design. It might be two different designs actually, just to change it up a little bit, because it is 11,200 blocks long. I'm going to have a little bit of variety. It might be simpler to just go with a plain slab roof, but I'm not going to do that. It's going to be 3 slab, 3 nether brick slab, 3 stone slabs, 3. It's going to be 3 and 3 all the way down. It might be 5 and 5, I don't know. But it's going to be an odd number so I can center the lighting, because we're going to have lighting. So this is why I had to do mending yesterday, because there's going to be quite a bit of this. I need a new mouse. I have a $5 mouse from like a discount store. $5 and a $10 keyboard. $15 total. The letters and numbers are wearing off the keyboard. The mouse is fine, but it's like hard plastic. It's not very ergonomic at all. I have bigger hands too, so that doesn't help at all. Do I have enough room for this in my inventory? Yes, I do. So that's the other issue here with digging these out, is the ice, the items slide, so I might miss some if they slide off to the left. So my plan is to go down the right side of the tunnel and up the left side there, where the slabs are sitting lower. And I'll get the middle ones if I need any more slabs. I'll get that from the top. Well, actually, I could. No, I'm going to go down, down, up, and then down. Yeah, so that. Oops. Yeah, I've been really busy the last while. I mean, stuff just comes up, you know. I wish I could get more solid live streams. I've mentioned before that that's like one of my goals. But yeah, it's difficult when you have, you know, sometimes I have to go with my girlfriend to her work, and that means I'm gone all day, even though the thing I'm doing doesn't take that long. It just, yeah. So days when I have to go with her to work to do something, like getting a car oil change or something like that, I can't do a live stream, even if, you know what I mean, because I can't go to there and then come back, and then, you know, it doesn't make any sense, because I usually get the oil change done sort of like in an area by her work. That way when I'm done, it's like ready for me to get the car back to where she works so she can, you know, drive it home. See how it's drifting off? I'm going to have to go back and check now. There may be one or two that slid off to the side. A pro tip for anyone doing slabs like this in 1.12 and under: always, always, always transport your slabs as regular stone, because just, yeah. There's two reasons why there's rails down right now. There's no powered rails at the moment. One is nothing can spawn there now, and two, well, you can use a minecart. And guess what? While you use a minecart, you can look at maps, you can eat, you can check your inventory, and you can even craft things. When you're in a boat, you have to be steering the boat. You can't do anything. You can't even eat unless you stop. And then you have to steer a lot of the time, which is a pain in the butt. To help with that, what we're going to be doing is eventually putting a signal system here so people on boats don't knock into people on the minecart. Things are pretty dead right now with the 90K club, just because I haven't been online a lot or enough. But yeah, it should start perking up once I'm more active. People will see that I'm working here, and they'll come and join me again. Alright. A little bit faster there. I love how they join as a stack, like as they're falling. It's really funny. About 100 blocks to go, I think. Maybe more, maybe less. the other side is going to be a lot easier to do because it's lower. I don't have to be as careful with the pick digging out the ceiling. So here we go with this checker pattern. Okay, so we're not going to be doing this checker pattern. This all has to be removed. I guess I'm only going to do it till here because I don't really have space for the nether brick slabs. I do need the nether brick slabs, but I don't have any space for them at the moment. So I can go a lot faster with these ones. I really, really can't emphasize how important it is that nothing spawn in this tunnel, because it will block things. And when this tunnel was under construction and the rails weren't placed yet, oh my gosh, it would take forever to navigate around all the zombie pigmen and like the magma cubes. Thankfully no gas, but all the magma cubes and stuff, oh my gosh, so freaking irritating. There we go, free of a stack there, slot, I mean, sorry. So I'm going to place these first before I come back and get the nether brick slabs, because basically the entire placed ceiling in this tunnel is going to be removed and used in the east-west portion of the tunnel. Because the east-west portion of the tunnel is basically in shambles right now. So if you're just tuning in, I'm working on the nether road today, 100%. And we're trying to, at least I'm trying to, I guess I could probably do that to fill up a slot. Trying my best here to collect all of these. I might not have enough slots open. Yes, I do have some nether brick there that I could place, but I'm too far away right now. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a sec. So I do not need the stone bricks, which is a little bit frustrating because I thought I did. I wasn't remembering correctly because I'm not using stone bricks, I'm using slabs. That was a good call, moving the torches over to my offhand there, because definitely coming up on being filled up here. Hopefully we'll get all of them. I think we're only up to about 700 blocks out. I think that might be the end right there coming up. Can't really tell. Yeah, there's the end right there. Good. So I only have enough room for these two rows, which is fine. Look at that. And I'll just, oops. Yeah, you. Never go in the nether without a flint and steel. You know, I think there might be. So I will have it, but let's just move this over, that over. So I only really created like what, 2 additional slots, something like that? 3, okay. Okay, let's do that then. I do need more rockets, but right now my priority should probably be, yeah, so we're gonna pop that back in here. So I have 3 more slots to go. All right. So I am going to collect a number of these as well. I do believe some of these are build protected, the ceiling pieces. This is good because it means I don't have to come as far north in the tunnel to collect. I had a very, very stiff neck yesterday. It was very painful. I think I laid on it wrong or something, a pinched nerve or something. It feels a lot better. I had some mint tea with, I had this, it's like peppermint, spearmint, and tarragon mint tea. And I combined it with this really high quality black tea that I got from my girlfriend. I think it was for Christmas or birthday, about maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. And I just combined that last night, and it really helped quite a bit. It helped me get to sleep. I know a lot of people that caffeine affects them where it's a stimulant. With me, it acts like a sleep aid up into a point, up into a certain point, and then after that point, it's, you know, per usual stimulant kind of type of thing. It kind of helps me balance everything out. That's why I'm such an avid tea drinker, because when I was a kid, they instead of doing tea and stuff, they would have me take this Ritalin stuff, which is really unhealthy and dangerous medication, and didn't really help. And in fact, because I'm on the spectrum, what it ended up doing was making me very antisocial. So my ADD is actually counteracting my my autism spectrum disorder sort of traits a little bit, which is very interesting, I find. Because, yeah, I mean, if I was medicated for ADD right now, I probably wouldn't even be doing this live stream. I'd be reading a book and being very into my own little world. So I'm glad I discovered that. You know, just a little bit of caffeine helps me kind of stay focused and helps me be calm and sleep, but not to the point where I'm like shutting out the outside world, because that's just no good. You know? And anyone out there that's also on the autism spectrum, like, take a look at, you know, tea. Fiddle around with it. You know, you might not get the right tea the first time you try it. And remember, not all tea is created equal. Let's see how many we have left open here. Okay, so a little bit, a few left. Because so many people are diagnosed with, misdiagnosed, I should say. Okay, one more. That cut how far we have to go north by about 200 blocks, which is awesome. Because we are going to come back and collect these pretty soon, actually. As soon as these guys are placed. I'm going to collect these. I do have some stone that I can craft into slabs, but I think... Ah, crap. Oh. Is there anything in here that I can get rid of? I think we can get rid of that dirt, and we can just pop this up there. And we can just dispose the dirt. I don't want to waste any slabs. Wait, if I have another slot open, that means I can gather even more of these. Hey, there we go. Useful. That means one less trip far away from where I'm actually working, which is awesome. I'll always take that. Well, maybe not always. Usually always. So, anyone who's just tuning in now or watching the video through this part, just check out my subscriptions. You know, check out the all the channels I'm subscribed to, and see if there. You know, I have a lot of people that play Minecraft. I have people that play City Skylines, Hermitcraft. If you guys watched or know of that series. I have people that do farming, like Minnesota Millennial Farmer. I have a guy in England that lives on a narrowboat, and there's a whole narrowboat YouTubing community that you can look into. It's pretty awesome, actually. So yeah, just check out my subscriptions. I'm very, very, very fussy with who I'm subscribed to. So, and I have gone through a series of unsubscribing in the last few weeks to really get rid of channels that I might find sort of interesting, but they're not. Maybe I've moved on and found like some better content or something. So, yay, look at that. Sweet. Okay. Look at that. It's barely, yeah, I'm really happy with that, actually. It's only about 200 blocks out now, which is perfect. Yeah, because we have all this nonsense going on here. So basically, so you can see the pattern here. All right. What I've kind of been doing is like this, where I'll just take a row and just do it. But the issue with that is that we have stuff spawning. So I want to kind of eliminate the spawnable areas. And we can do that by doing the bottom up to here, this middle row. And then we can do the top row later on. Because nothing's going to be able to spawn in that. As you can see now, there's space here for the nether brick slabs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move these inboard here so I don't accidentally select those torches. Now these are bottom slabs, so they will let the light through. That's another nether rail that I do not have access to, and they have a specific design down there. They don't have ice. I don't think they have ice. No, no ice. And I don't know where that goes to either. If that one wasn't there, and you can also see that they're at a lower block level than ours. I'm not going to do that with this one just because I actually want I want to be able to have room underneath the minecart track to do stuff, switching and activation levers and stuff. It's going to get darker and darker in here, unfortunately, because we are closing up the light sources from down there, including the ones on the walls, because I believe that there's a light source on the far side of the wall down there too. I'm not sure if you can actually see it. A couple of these have the powered rails actually missing, which is either they needed the powered rails for something else. Come on. Alright. Get back. Oh, come on, man. It's just kind of pissing me off a little bit here. I'm going to do the top row another time, but I have to get rid of this dude here. You have to be really careful because they will all gang up on you. There we go. Okay. See, stuff can spawn here, but they can't, so it cuts the amount of spawnable blocks in half, basically. So I'm just going to go through and do each layer, the bottom, the middle, and then the top. Then once I'm done here, I'm going to grab the nether brick slabs. I just got sick of them just being in the way. There's not really the polite way to do things. Hey! Dude, you're dead. Yeah, anyway, like I said, it's not the polite way to do things. But, how about we not have that there? So I do need to, at some point, yeah, you know what? I just realized something. Pardon me. Whew. Ooh, pardon me. See, my issue here is that, what do we have in here? Awesome. I'll take a whole bunch of these. Whoops. Nope. I need like a chest down here or something. I believe it comes down like that. Yeah, like that. Whoops. That's the only trick, is that this is uneven down here, so yeah. I don't think we have any, I mean, this says 0. I mean, there is no light. That's a visual lighting thing right there. It's not an actual, yeah, it's not actual light source. Oops. So then we do this. That's kind of the pattern right there. Oops. It is a little tricky, and that's one of the reasons. That's a less of a reason, but in general, I'm doing this to save my sanity. So this pattern will go up right to the end of the wall here, and then this will end this pattern here. And then once this starts, this will be a different pattern than this. This will be probably some odd number. It's going to be either 3, 5, or 7 of one type of slab, and then 3, 5, or 7 of the other type of slab. And we might shorten it as we get close to one of the branches and then lengthen it back out again. For example, maybe we'll do 7. Maybe we'll do 7, 7 one, and 7 the other. And then what'll happen is, as we get closer to a branch line, we'll go 5 and 5, and then 3 and 3, and then on the other side it'll be 3 and 3 and 5 5 and back to 7 and 7. So we'll kind of crunch it up so there's a visual marker of when you're getting close to a branch line. I think that might work pretty well, actually. I really like that idea too, because yeah, just there we go. Anyway, I just like that kind of motif. There we go. There's the end done on that side. So when we come down here, at least it looks finished. But we're gonna have to. We have to do this part here actually. There we go. And I think what I'm going to do is I'll focus on. I'm just going to place any netherrack there in the corner for now. Because this thing is only about 1,100, 1,200 blocks long, something like that. Let's see. All the way to the end. 1,150. It's a little bit shorter than that. I think it's probably about 1,050, because there's a space where you can't build, and then there's the stairs. So maybe about 1,000 blocks total. This looks so much better finished, doesn't it? Look at that. Nice solid wall. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and make sure that we have this floating thing here. So we're going to grab a couple more of these. All right, we're just going to leave that floating there for now. Because this block here, underneath here, is the top of that tunnel there. So yeah, it's the light's going to leak through visually. I kind of like building with both blocks at the same time, just because the wall actually gets, like, you know, complete. It's a double complete rainbow all the way. What does it mean? It's a little bit more stopping and starting, but as you go along, the wall is actually done. So I think I'm going to stick with that for now. See, it's just done. You know, you don't have to worry about anything. Then there's the ceiling, which you just kind of... the other part of this is that this bit here, this actually has to come down. Because I'm lowering it down just like that side. I haven't done that yet on this stretch of it. So I'll just kind of reclaim quickly some of these. And I do have space in my inventory, which is cool. Because you can see it's already done all the way up to here on this side, actually all the way along. But it's not done at all on this side, past the one branch area. Breezy Island has its two-way branch. Here's the main nether road, north-south. It has a branch coming off. Then here's the east-west nether road. It has a branch coming off. So it has the two ways, so it's like a square, basically. There's two ways to get to it. You can get to it from the east-west part of the nether road, and you can get it from the north-south part of the nether road, which I like. Because if you're coming back down from the 90K Club, it's nice to have that shortcut. But if you just want to go, if you just want to come out and get there right away, then you can. Okay, we don't want rotten flesh. Yeah, anyway. So we're going to do this up to that junction up there and see how much space we have left. We're running out of space pretty quickly in the inventory here. So there's that junction right up there. I suspect we'll have just enough space. I don't know. I don't know. I can always place some of these, like, That's the beautiful part about building like this, is because you know you have. Yeah, let's start with these again. See, now nothing can really spawn there. We're cutting the spawning areas down by quite a bit. It's cutting it in half, actually. So we're just going to quickly place all of these blocks. Alright, so the junction, I think, was up here. Could be totally wrong, I'm not sure. Jesus, come on. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the country right now, whether you like it or not. If you don't want to hear it, then I guess you can be like a little baby and tune me out, plug your ears, but whatever. We're going through a pretty ugly time right now in the history of the United States. We're putting little kids in cages and taking them from their parents illegally, and then claiming there's a humanitarian crisis at the border, even though we kind of like caused it in the first place. It really bothers me. It really bothers me a lot, actually. And the fact that we're sitting back making excuses while these poor kids are sitting on dirt in cages, enclosures, whatever you want to call them. They're cages. It's pretty disgusting, actually, and I'm really ashamed to be calling myself an American right now. It's just pathetic and horrible and terrible that we're resorting to these ugly, neglectful, spiteful, small tactics instead of leading by example. We're sort of, you know, saying, look how low we can go. Don't dare us to go lower, because we will. You know, that's what I'm kind of seeing right now, which is really disheartening and frustrating for me personally. I mean, this president, so-called, says he'll be everyone's president, and then he goes and pushes these agendas that are clearly discriminatory against people of certain groups, including myself. I'm on public assistance. I am disabled, and people like me don't matter to him. Oops. And it's really, I think the word frustrating kind of doesn't really cut it. It's an ugly, ugly, ugly place that this administration and Republicans in Congress are making this country into. And not just Congress and the president, you know, the federal level, on the state levels too. On the state level, you have sort of creepy Nazi-esque sort of policies, and it's like, whose side are you on? The policies only point towards one thing, and it's they want a select group of people to be. We are basically being turned into the lifeboat for these 1% people, because climate change is real and it's happening. Weather is a year-to-year, day-to-day, month-to-month thing. Decade to decade and millennia to millennia, that is climate. Climate is a long-term thing. And when people forget that, they're like, oh, it's hot today, there's no global warming. It's like, or whatever. It's like that's the overall theme of what the weather is long-term. Weather is climate is weather long-term, basically. And when people tend to forget that. The climate is the highs, lows, and averages of a specific region or a global sort of average. All the regions put together kind of thing. And you think, oh, climate change and ocean level rise. I don't think a lot of people realize that just a couple of inches of ocean level rise is going to be catastrophic, because we have so much stuff that's built along like coastal areas. Because historically we would build places on waterways and coasts because of the accessibility for shipping and transportation. So it doesn't make a lot of sense anymore to do that. It's almost like we can build our cities anywhere now, and then we can have designated port areas on the seaside for those areas where we need, commerce to, ship things. Literally, when I say ship, I mean using a boat, on the water, barge, whatever. So I don't know, it just feels like the 1% is gearing up to use us as a raft to ride out climate change, which they are causing. It just feels that way to me personally. All of it. I have to start placing some of these. So that's basically what I'm doing right now. I'm just moving stuff around. But it just disgusts me that there's such heartless, ridiculous, like clearly it's not the right thing to do, yet it's being done anyway. That it just bothers the hell out of me. And it should for anyone that has like a conscience, I mean, if you have a daughter, like, what are you gonna do? Like, lock her in a room so she doesn't get pregnant, and there's no health care to take care of her, even if she's pregnant or not? Like, what are you supposed to do? And men are just allowed to just run around and do whatever they want? Like, what the hell is this nonsense? Makes no sense unless you factor in the 1% using us as a raft. Force us to work, even if we're disabled and really can't. Like, who's next going to these work camps? I mean, they could be work camps, is the scary part. If it doesn't scare you, then it should. You know what I mean? Like, if you know anything about history, people can get away with nasty stuff. They will. They'll do it. People can get away with it. They'll do it. There's no accountability at all. No accountability at all. Which is really scary, because the rule of law in a society is dependent on accountability. Just really, really crappy. Really, really crappy. We're messing up, you know, big time here, and it's really, what's what I'm looking for here. It's really embarrassing, actually. You know, we're supposed to be fighting against tyranny and you know, inequality and stuff like that. We're not supposed to be helping make things worse, you know. But yeah, I don't know. Who am I? I'm just some idiot on public assistance. Of course I'm going to be for love and equality and all that stuff, right? I would love to run for office, but I can't because, you know, I just want handouts and stuff, right? You know, I can just wake up one day and be totally fine and not have any, you know, autism spectrum disorder. What's wrong with me? Why don't I just get with the program? It's really sickening, actually. So the walls are more important than the ceiling at this point, so that's why I'm taking a lot of the ceiling down. Because as soon as the walls are in, nothing will be spawning in here. Nothing can spawn in here. So that's why they're a bit of a priority for me. So there's the junction right up there. Okay. Right. Okay. So we're going to start placing some stuff here. But, you know, I can't stand these sort of extremists on, you know, the Democratic Party that they just want everything. You know, they want to have their cake and eat it too or whatever. And you can't do that. You can't disqualify someone because of one little tiny thing. We have a president right now that is not qualified to be in office at all. So to sit back and criticize someone that's not perfect, a perfect candidate, is like, what the heck you doing? We need to focus on getting Trump out of office and restoring the rule of law and restoring normalcy and stability to this country. It's really, really, really scary and sobering and ridiculous that I'm even talking about this in the United States. Like, journalists are like in danger of being killed, like for real, put in jail. Aren't we supposed to be this beacon of democracy? Well, we're not right now. We're not at all. We're just a giant global embarrassment. And like, who like looks at climate data and like, oh yes, we need more coal plants that are less safe? Like, who does that? But like I said, we're the lifeboat. Move, please. Thank you very much. That's all we are. People so they can stand on top of us and stay dry when the waters come. Excuse me. Move. That's, I mean, it's the only logical explanation for this, as I call it, foot shooty behavior. Foot shooty means not in your own best interest, like far outside of your own best interest. We've had some very, very strongly foot-shooty behavior recently. Across the board, really. People want this ideal, perfect candidate on the Democratic side. Meanwhile, the Republicans are in Congress. I'm not talking about people who are registered voters that are Republican. They're not the problem. The people in office are the problem. And the fact that there's no oversight with journalists, like, how are we able to just not tell the truth on live TV, like on a newscast? Like, how is that even like legal? It's not about freedom of speech. It's like their pretenses are that it's fact, and they're the ones with the real information. I don't know. It's dangerous and scary and very 1930s Germany. It really is. If you know your history, you should be freaking the hell out right now, because it's past repeating itself. And people who say, "Oh, I don't want to get political," I'm saying that in a mocking voice, because guess what? You're the problem. I said it. You're the problem. You don't want to be political? Why do you even exist then? Everything is political. Everything. From the colors of the lines on the streets to everything. Anything you can think about is political. Everything. Health and safety standards, they're all determined by who we vote for and the policies that they push for. That's it. Everything is political. That's how democracy works. It's not just you vote and you go home. Everything is political, whether you like it or not. And if you really, really, really just want to be told what to do, and just, oh well, then you don't understand what democracy is about, and you're a lazy person, and you're why we have the problems that we have today. And I'm just going to be honest about it. You're those types of people that think politics is none of my business and they don't vote. You're why things like this happen. You're why I have to worry about health coverage in the richest country the world has ever seen. Why are we worrying about health coverage? We shouldn't have to worry about being thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt because you have a tooth that's bad and the antibiotic is some expensive thing. It's horrible and unconscionable. You know, we used to get up in arms about injustices in the world. But I guess if the injustice is in our own backyard, we're just all peachy keen fine with it. And not everyone is lazy. Not everyone. There are people out there that are trying to do the good works and trying to wake people up, and regardless of who's in office or what the policies are, that they're trying to help. And I want to make sure that those people are recognized and acknowledged. And there are a lot of them. The problem is that there's not enough. And not enough people who do care get involved to the point where it's a critical mass that pushes society forward in these critical sort of areas. You know, look at them. Look at them just sitting there. It's hilarious. But yeah, it's just frustrating for me because I know we can do so much better. We have. They want to take apart Social Security. They want to make people pay to play. And if you can't play, you still have to pay. That's what they want. Because we're just the raft for the 1%ers to ride out into climate change. That's really it. That's really if you really look at the data, if you look at what's going on in the world, the richest people in the world make money off of some of the poorest people in the world. Just look at the oil industry. Look at these weirdos. Dude. So I'm going to take a step back here. Get rid of them all. Okay. Don't want the gold. Why do we let people get away with so much bullshit? So much. We just let people get away with so much crap. It's scary. We didn't used to. We didn't used to be such a small, fearful, tribalistic place. And maybe even if we were tribalistic, you know, the country was always seen as one unit. That's just not the case anymore. It's us and them. And even if it was us and them all along, it's more that now than it has ever been. This is not Vietnam War, you know, protesters versus people that support the war. This really isn't. It really isn't. It's, do we care about being humane and compassion? Do we care about doing the right thing? Or do we not at all? That's really what it is right now. And we know the Vietnam War was started based on a lie. We know that now. Are we willing to look the other way again? Well, look at this nonsense with Iran. Like, what the hell is that all about? Iran didn't do anything. And we're like, oh, they're testing our patience. It's like they're just sitting there doing nothing. And we're just like making shit up. It boggles the mind. It really does. I know people from Iran. Yeah, they have religious nutcases just like we do here. But that's not the majority of them. Not by a long shot. Oops. Okay. You know what I'd like to do? Just very quickly, just kind of... Yeah, I think that might be a good idea, actually. Make sure that guy's not coming after me. This will again have the amount of spawnable spots on the side here. Oops. Well, I do want to focus on the wall here, but we have so many of these pigmen spawning here, it's getting kind of irritating. And it would be nice to have something in on this side. It ends right there, so yeah, we could just put it up to right there. Oh. Excuse me. See? Right there. Then the rest of these are going to be on the wall here. Actually, let's go down this way, see where we can put these, aside from there. As you can see, the whole left side here is open, which we don't want. We don't necessarily need 2 slabs in here, but just for light containment purposes, that's what we're going to be doing. And why am I building with slabs? Because the ceiling is not flat. It has like a little arch to it. Oh, I wish Kara was here to help me. Last time I did this, I had people helping me. Dang it. I mean, I guess I could eventually do this whole thing myself, but no. Nope. It's not a one-person job at all. Oh, okay. Yeah, we can focus on this section right here. Oops. Nice. Even if it isn't, it does look a lot more complete. Sure does eat up resources quick, this pattern. Oh, geez, I need to work on my aim here. But yeah, I just think that, you know, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, like, where did that go? Where'd that go? Where'd it go? You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was a thing. Apparently it's not, because it's just pathetic. It's just really is pathetic. Oh, Cool. So these were actually taken care of. That's awesome. So I'm going to take more of that ceiling from the other stretch of tunnel, and I'm going to put it along here, because I do believe that that is all of the nether brick slabs that I have, which kind of sucks actually. This is just taking so many resources. Oh, okay, don't need any of that. Oh, I'll grab that real quick. Right, so I do believe that we do have a few. No, that's fireworks. Which one is it? Is it 90K? It might be 90K. No, it's like logs and stuff. Okay. Yeah, the reason why my neck keeps cracking like that is because I slept on it really weird yesterday. Maybe it's expansion kit? I don't remember. No. I'm going to end up lining up this whole section here with shulkers. Oh. That's stone brick, but I don't need stone brick. I may have crafted a ton of stone brick thinking that that's what I was going to be using. Why would I craft so much stone brick? Oh my god, I'm a moron. That's probably what it is. I thought I was going to be... You know, why don't we make the long section of the nether tunnel, or whatever we call it, stone brick slabs? Yeah, I don't see why not. Because we have all this nether, we have all of this stone brick. Why not just make it into slabs? You know? Let's place these real quick. Meow. Oops. This is much more like it. What the heck? Excuse me. There we go, much better. That's actually hilarious. Okay, so we gotta grab one of these dealies. I guess we can just pop it right in there. Put it back. So now I am actually going to go back and grab the rest of that ceiling there. I may actually have to go all the way up to the outpost. See the ceiling? This is all gonna be brick, stone brick slabs. So I'm just gonna tear the whole thing down. I'm really glad I went back and got this because this originally went up to about 700 blocks north, way up that way. Oops. There we go, much better. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very quickly just go down this side here. A lot of people ask me why I keep the F3 screen up. When I started doing live stream, it's because I want to know where it gives me a reference if I want to go back and check something in the live stream once it's posted as a video. It allows me to go back and check stuff. Yeah, so we're going to head on up this way. You always kind of tilt your head, or troll 3. Suspicious. Are they here to grief, or are they here to get along? It's like, So I think the big issue here is the nether brick slabs. Because obviously you have to mine netherrack, and then you have to smelt netherrack into nether bricks, and then you have to make nether bricks into nether brick blocks, and then you have to make that. It's like a multi-step process. Whereas the stone, you make slabs directly onto in a crafting table. So mine stone, crafted in slabs. Mine netherrack, smelted into brick, crafted into bricks, crafted into brick blocks. So it's literally over twice as much work. And a lot of it is just like really time consuming too, like doing all the crafting, for example. There we go. Yay. Oh, hey, come back here. General shrub. A shrubbery. I think this goes, nope. Okay, we're gonna switch over to the nether brick slabs. Whoa, okay, let's not do it that way. Don't know what that was all about. Once I get this in, nothing should be spawning on this side because these are bottom slabs. That'll help a lot with zombie pigmen spawning while I'm trying to build here. So this isn't permanent. This is going to be another wall just like that one. It's just easier to work when there's not stuff spawning when you're trying to place everything. All right. Let's... I know it's a little uneven, but I would much rather just have them not spawn. If I have a choice, whatever. They can now no longer spawn in these areas, which is awesome. I think that's going to have to be everything for today. So a little under an hour and a half. I woke very, very late today. Difficulty sleeping in warm temps. So I'm going to end the music here. So anyway, everyone, I just want to say thank you for tuning in today. I do appreciate it. I should be back. Make sure I got all of those. But yeah, let's see where. My stomach's growling. That tells me that I need to probably have lunch. Okay. So yeah, I think this was a pretty good live stream. Very, very productive. I made some decisions about the construction of the main nether road, and I made some other decisions that I haven't actually verbalized yet. I'll share with you guys next time. But today is a beautiful Friday. I should be back with you on Monday, or perhaps tomorrow at some point later this evening. I'm not really sure, but I'm going to be doing a lot of work on this in the next week or so. So yeah, if I don't see you guys, I think the next live stream will actually be either on Mumbo Jumbo's Spooncraft server or Rendog's Dogcraft server, because I have done 2 fairly long ones here, and I want to make sure I'm spreading it out. And most of the work that I need to do personally on the SMPs is on Empire Minecraft, but it looks like I'm going to have to wait for some help, because this is a huge project, and I could finish it myself, but I kind of don't want to. I kind of want to have a team. And then I go and be on someone else's team, and while they're doing their project. So that's basically how I like to do things. Just they do work for me, I do work for them, just as a community. So anyway, as usual, guys, love yourself, love everyone around you. Kindness always and first. Peace.